imagination. First of all, I just have to tell you, we're all fake on here. We're all phonies, okay? We are not authentic. We're just going around in the same cycles, right? Over and over again and never improving. April Fool's moment, okay? Let's get started. We are the real deal. You already know what it is, okay? Let's get started with today's topic, which is imagination. I'm going to be reading from my notes. This is going to be ultimately very, very powerful for us to recognize what's really going on underneath the surface, okay? So number one, imagination is Christ. These are teachings that come from Neville Goddard. Okay, so listen very close. This is going to be very impactful, very powerful. This is from his book. It's called Awakened Imagination. Okay, Awakened Imagination. Now, imagination has the word imagine in it, has the word image in it. If we understand that all we're doing is living through images that show up in our minds, right? And a lot of the times what we do is we focus on the external world's images, like what we're seeing on the outside. But when we close our eyes, all we see is floating images, right? And this is where Jung came up with this concept of active imagination. And this is a very, very powerful understanding because then we can finally utilize and unite with our inner animosity, which is our inner feminine masculine energies, okay? So the first things first, imagination is equated to Christ, okay? So Neville equates human imagination with Christ, the divine creative power within. So Christ in you is the hope of glory, he says. So he means that your imagination is the redeemer, okay? Did you even redeem it? Yes, I did, absolutely. It is the redeemer. It is bringing that back, right? That energy. So second, we want to understand what is imagining from the end in mind that he talks about, right? Versus of the end. So think from the end, not of the end, right? So the power is in feeling the wish fulfilled, right? He always talks about this. And I think this is a really, really important topic because you're thinking from the desire. You're not merely thinking of it, right? So think of thinking of some place that you want to go to, right? For a vacation or something. If you want to go to Barbados or something, that's not enough. You gotta feel the crisp air of Barbados. You gotta immerse yourself. You gotta pull up videos of Barbados and get the smells, get the understandings, get the enrichment, right, from the culture. So that's what's going to be really key and important. Okay, what's up, Not My Gamer? Talking about imagination today. So basically, revision is redemption. Okay, what do I mean by revision is redemption? Daily revision of your past experiences transforms your life. Okay, so by imagining a better outcome, you're actually rewriting your emotional history. Okay, so this is really, really key because as we're reliving the day as we wish that it had gone, it also gives us this kind of art of forgiveness, right? We're not holding on to things so much, or we're not clasping on to like the way that we want reality to go, but we're actually adapting and flowing with it, right? Like flow state shamans, Jedi's. We're not attaching to it like this has to be like this and it must be like that, and creating ultimatums around our own realities, right? Um, I'm the living embodiment of the Makara. That's who I am. So daily revision of your past transforms your life. Okay. So revising the past and actually ending those visualizations as you would like them to, right? Like if you have this bad memory that keeps coming up in your mind again and again and again, you got to understand that, oh, voice is low, bro. Okay. 1 second.
Me now? Yes. Can you hear me now? I was probably connected to my headset, to my headphones. Anyway, let's get started again then. Imagination is Christ. Let's do a little recap then, because you guys couldn't hear me. Number one, imagination is Christ. It is associated with the divine creative power within you, right? So the ability to create and get the hope and the glory and the understanding that that is the redeemer energy, right? That's like a redeemer frequency, if you think about it. Number two, thinking from the end in mind, not of the end in mind, okay? That means that your power is in the wish being fulfilled, completely fulfilled, like completed. Your journey is absolutely completed and you're living from the fact that it's already been completed, right? So it gives you this wholeness, this oneness, this interconnectedness. Next is that revision is redemption, okay? So that means that if you ever want to take revenge on something or someone, or you want to make this redemption arc come back for you, I'm going to be dropping a few videos that I haven't dropped yet. One is on Shia LaBeouf. Another one is going to be on the concepts around Alien April and like getting really crystallized and like into it. You know what I mean? Like the next is you are not your circumstances. You are the chooser of states. Okay? I'm just reading from my notes here. So states versus self, right? All possible states already exist and can be occupied through assumption. Okay? So once you assume, you're distinguishing between the individual and the state that they occupy, right? You could have an individual that's in a frantic state of mind, right? That's not going to be very ideal for an imagination. Well, it could be, but it's going to create reality in a very negative way, right? So what we want to be doing is, you want to understand the imagination is the only reality, right? When we think like this, we take our feelings and our fantasies as facts, right? And we start actually paying more attention to what is going on with our spiritual path and our journeys, okay? So that means that there is no second cause. Everything stems from the inner speech, right? And the images that you habitually keep entertaining day after day after day after day, okay? Let me share this with the tribe. Am I back? Okay, cool. So, even false assumptions, okay, if persisted in, will harden into fact. The key is continuous imagination instead of what? Wishful thinking. So when you remain in the understanding that this is like the dashboard of my mind, body, spirit, and if I remain there and I merge my waking life with my dreams, with my fantasies, with my imagination, then it can actually be a glorious day, a glorious creation that you are actually creating from within, right? You're creating this whole experience of life from within. So even false assumptions, right? Even false assumptions, if persisted, will harden into fact. Next, we have forgiveness as identification. So true forgiveness means identifying with the person's ideal, not their mistake, right? So only imagination can enter into and partake of the nature of its opposite, okay? So that means, let's say that you close your eyes and you have a very negative visualization. You want to use the revision technique and actually end that visualization in your mind as the way that you would have liked to, and then go to sleep with that energy, right? And then the next day, you're going to be chimed in. You're going to be wired into that reality already being a reality. It's no more like a wishful thinking or a dream or like a, thing in your mind that you externalize and push away from you. Like it's a distant dream, it's a pipe dream, it's a futuristic thing, right? I'm gonna tap into it in the future, not in my nowness. But I'm telling you this new word, knowledge, okay? Knowledge, not knowledge, knowledge. The knowledge of the now. Being able to create that gnosis, that in the moment, instead of like trying to make the video a very specific way, 5 points on how to be better, okay? Instead of that, why don't you live with it? Why don't you embrace and understand the authenticity is so key and crucial to this, right? My parents are doctors, so it's all good, Jilin. So next is, no one does it for you. You are both the author and the actor in the dream, right? So that means God became man and that man became God. So you didn't choose me, I choose you. Your higher self has already chosen your destiny, right? So what's the point anyway? If you are your own source of power, no hexes, no curses, nothing will work on you, okay? Nothing will work on you. Why? Because the sharpness of the mind, okay, that you've trained over and over and over again, right? Until it's become like second nature to you, right? And once it's second nature to you, you don't even have to like pretend anymore, right? It just becomes something so natural to you. Your imagination, as I've said, is Christ in disguise, right? Are you looking for some kind of a Messiah outside of you still? Right? Is that your strategy? That someone is going to come and save me? Okay, it's great to have hope. And we know that Pandora's box, right, when it opened, hope was the one that stayed, right? Hope was the one that didn't let go of that. So we actually need hope to put chaos back into order again. We need the hope. We need the faith, as Neville Goddard says, right? So that means you think it's about the 3D? No, it's about being in the wrong timeline, right? People are stuck on why hasn't it happened yet, or using imagination like a vending machine. You guys get this? So it isn't about fixing the outside. It's about reprogramming your inner temple day after day after day, right? This is why your imagination is your dojo. This is why it's your dojo, okay? This is why when you close your eyes, you go into a creative mode, okay? A creative mode means you're creating, right? You're originating something in the mind. And feeling is the secret, not overthinking the scene, right? If you start using logical contradictions and things in your mind to try to make the visualization better, right? Let me stack this on top of this other thing, and maybe it'll work like this, and maybe I'll put a format over it and put MLA, bibliography underneath it, and then maybe I will finally get it, okay? Cool, fine. That's valid, okay? But as a positive psychologist, I know that you don't need to imagine every detail like a Spielberg movie. What you need to do is just feel that it's done. Just that knowingness that it's done will be the thing that creates the storyboard. You don't need to storyboard it. The storyboard is happening through your life, through your experiences, right? Where am I from? I'm from India originally, Kolkata, India. And I've grown up in many different places, so I don't have an accent. If you wanted me to speak like this, I can, but I don't have an accent. That is why, okay? Let's get it. Be a cosmic kid again. This is a really important law, man. When you were the cosmic kid, you were the wild child on a sugar rush with these imaginal acts, right? These imaginal acts of being fully immersed, zero doubt, all play. Forget realism, man. Only wish fulfillment. This is your inner Disneyland, right? How to stop overthinking, you're asking. So a lot of the times, man, overthinking is under feeling. So you're not feeling the emotion enough. You're using your logic in your mind to think about what is happening, right? So stop playing magic tricks for results, right? This ain't Hogwarts. This is inner alchemy, okay? You can change you, and then the world changes, you will notice. Okay, so how you're perceiving it. So imagination is your inheritance. If you're using it, if you're letting your divine royalty go to waste, okay, that means that you won't be able to fully embody the gifts that you know you're meant to give, right? That's it. So the psyche's Netflix, if you think about it, right, is very, very important. Like, for overthinking to actually not affect you anymore, you have to ask, is this real? Is this thought actually real? Is it accurate, right? Is this, changing my reality in some way? Is it affecting me? Where am I? Am I thinking of the past or the future, right? Where is this thought keeping me in a loop of not closing that loop? That is overthinking. So if you just decide in your mind and you add a full stop, right? And you're like, it ends there. Enough is enough, right? Full stop, boom. That's what it means to me. You can then move on. But a lot of people can't move on because their psyche, their imagination is creating these distortions, these fantasies, and they're creating more internal psychic resistances with what they're actually creating. You get what I mean? So active imagination, right? Think of it as the Netflix, your psyche's Netflix, right? So you direct it. You aren't just sitting and waiting for visions. Welcome, Mathis. It's one of our adepts. So you aren't like sitting there just waiting for visions to happen, right? You're closing your eyes, you're breathing deep, and then your unconscious will start dropping characters into your mind. Like it's auditioning for some kind of like a dream soap opera for you or something like this, right? So it'll give you different characters. Okay, tiger shows up. Okay, I know that that's my instinct related to Chief Deno, one of my guides, right? Then I know, okay, a crying child is showing up in my visualization. That means that there is some inner child healing and some hidden vulnerability, right? That's starting to show itself through my imagination. Next is like, you see a giant tree and you're like, maybe that has to do more with my grounding and like really shooting up to the stars, right? Like growing up finally, right? Or something like this, right? So you interpret it based on your perception, right? Also your mood, your vibration. So this is why we keep the vibration high, so all of the imaginations that come in get filtered through that virtuousness, right? That virtuosity. I love that word nowadays. I actually wrote something about this a little while back. I'll post it today, I think. But yeah, don't meditate to escape, meditate to converse. Okay, most folks meditate to shut up the mind, but active imagination, you let the mind talk back. So I want you guys to really practice. Of course, do your regular meditations. I'm not saying like go off of it or anything like that, but add the active imaginations into it because it's going to be really beneficial to you, especially Alien April, okay? So most people, they will flirt with their shadows, they'll interview their dragons, right? In like, if you're acquainted to this and you understand this, right? You dance with the parts of you that just have been locked in the basement, not really understood, discovered, explored, right? It's just there. It's kind of just there. So that means it's got some real tea to spill, right? Because if it knows and it's lived through all of your random experiences, that means it's a brilliant, it's almost like an experiment, right, that you're living through. So your dreams are random. They're like the spirit emails, right, that you're getting. So like Freud said dreams are repressed urges. Jung was like, hold my archetype, bro, right? Okay, so your dreams are like Google Maps, right? Your symbols, feelings, mythic scenes might be your emotions, might be temptations, might be fantasies, might be some kind of a dream trying to find meaning through your psyche, right? You hold the key though. No dream dictionary is required when you know yourself, right? When you know yourself, you don't need to be like, oh, that dream means that. It's just, it's gonna feel like an autopilot, like understanding for you that this is what it means, right? That comes through practice and of course, like getting it much more second nature to you, but this is really the brunt of it, right? So shadow work is not a spa day. Like, it's not like, you know, let's get the scented candles, let's chill. That stuff is great too, okay? Shadow work is a soul boot camp. I want you to really think of it like if you're yelling at someone in a dream, that might be a part of you that you're ignoring, right? That you can sorry, someone's just calling me. Uncle Makara is a character archetype, but also the symbolism that it creates for me makes me tap into my ultra instinct, my primal nature, right? And so integrate these parts of you so it doesn't create these fake personas, right? Torasa, Torasa, bro. I don't know that much Hindi. I understand it. I can't verbalize it, but I can understand it. Synchronicity is when the universe winks at you, right? So you're thinking about an old friend and then they text you. You're wondering about like some career change and then now everybody's talking about that job. Okay? So that's you and your mind, the serotonin, searching for meaning in that. So this is what you have to know, like the universe is sliding into my DMs. It wants attention, right? It wants me to actually manifest. Patterns or portals, right? Repeated numbers, things like this. My name is Sumed. Sumed or Zoom. People call me Zoom, like the app, or Uncle Makara. So the soul doesn't speak in logic, right? The soul will speak in signs, symbols, stories. Your job is to listen, to engage, and to integrate all that you're receiving through your imagination, okay? So it's not about fixing yourself, it's about remembering that you were always whole to begin with, actually, all right? And so when we look at these different tech, like if we're just going back, states versus self, imagination is the only reality, persistence wins, forgiveness is identification, imagining from the end, not of the end, you becoming the operant power, right? There's no elaborate way to stop people's bad intentions, right? But once you know yourself, you will know what is a real curse, right? Like, you would know back in the days, like if someone told you you'll never amount to nothing or you're not smart, like they made some comment and then that stuck with you in your mind, that's a curse, right? It's a similar way or system and a function to the way that a curse works, right? And then a lot of people will do that, right, towards you. But if your sense of self is really, really strong, right, and it does not budge, you can let the comments land, but you will know yourself so truly that it will just go in one ear, out the other, right? It's not that you're ignoring them, you're actually acknowledging what you're receiving, but it won't feel like you're just heavily dragged down by other people's comments. And I think this is a main point to where we can actually start understanding ourselves better, okay? By the way, I don't know if you guys could hear me, but I started off with an April Fool's joke. I was saying that, you know, we're all fakes, phonies, and, you know, we're just pretending all of this, and, you know, it's all placebo. Okay, so that's how I started off the April Fools, okay? This is really, really amazing, man, you know, like how these things, it does actually feel like that. It does feel like, you know, we're tripping ourselves out. Maybe this is all mental tricks, right? But then we start experiencing things that simultaneously they don't make sense. That you're like, man, how did this thing come about, right? You can't make head or tail of it. You just understand that it's a vibration, it's a frequency, it's a new energy shift in something, right? Once you become very intuitive, very sensitive to other people's emotions, energies, you can pick this stuff up, man. You can tell when someone is upset, even if they have, you can just tell through like mini micro expressions in their face and stuff, right? Becomes a very needed gift, actually. So this is what I want people to do for Alien April. Number one is start journaling about things that you're happy and grateful for that you're experiencing. And you write like, I'm grateful for my wealth, relationships, right? Health, purpose. And you're writing it as if it's already the case and you're just grateful for it. I'm so glad that I have a thriving relationship where every day I just feel so happy, uplifted by that energy, man. You know? Now, that's gonna create a powerful energy for me, right? It's gonna create a cosmic ripple effect in the back of my mind, like a tsunami working in the background, right? Now, this new vocabulary word, okay? Knowledge, okay? Knowledge, okay? Everything is in the now. Time is a nonlinear loop, right? And you gotta experience life, report back, and gain that knowledge, right? Okay, what do you mean, what do I do for December? What do you mean by that? If you could elaborate. And of course, the adepts also have this exercise of the 2-image exercise, which is very, very powerful as well, okay? Let's get it. I hope you guys found value in today's little transmission, okay? I have to get going. Busy day, okay? But I wanted to start Alien April off strong, like really strong, you know? So, yeah, that's why I wanted to tap in with you guys and just, you know, share from the spirit, from the soul, you know, not like overthink it or try to come up with some cool top. This is all about authenticity, man, right? And I'm showing you guys it's okay to be authentic. It's okay to make mistakes and like fuck up and keep going and moving forward, you know? It's like, it's fine, bro, right? Everybody's doing it. It's like you're not the only one getting on a live video going, you know what I mean? So this is a challenge, and this is a challenge to also stay present. As I'm communicating my message, I have to be very present to you guys. You guys get that? So this is actually a challenge for me to get on these live videos and speak from my soul, speak from my heart, all my gut, heart, brain, balls, everything working simultaneously to create this ripple effect. Let's get it. Upward spiral gang. May we never be the same again. Thank you so much for tapping in. Remember, your imagination is your dashboard. You just gotta stay there, choose it, and make it a continuous imagination. Don't start, stop, right? It's like a continuous stream that keeps flowing, okay, throughout your day. Let's get it. Upward spiral gang. May we never be the same again. Let's go. May the flow be with you guys, okay? Let's win. Yeah, let's go. See you at the top.